Hello, you beautiful people. Today we're actually going to talk about the mech because I've been playing it for about a week now since its release. Obviously, I feel it's awesome. The devs made a really good job. I love the way they incorporated the mech into the whole game, how we unlocked it and everything. But I think we need to talk about why it's good and for what specific scenarios it's good. So as some of you probably already know, we had to liberate Tianquan to actually unlock the mechs because apparently the automatons have taken over the production of the mechs. Well, I mean, not the production of the mechs, but I mean they seized the territories. So I'm thinking that if we actually did not liberate Tianquan, I think we would not have unlocked the mechs, which is a cool thing because imagine if we didn't liberate Tianquan. That means that you could have said bye-bye to your mech and probably never see it again. But I mean, knowing the developers, we probably would have gotten them in the future if we did not indeed liberate the planet. So that's what I love. Not many companies actually do this kind of thing, but Arrowhead did, and I'm actually very proud of them. Anyway, let's get into the mech itself. So before we start, I kind of want to show you the obvious. So the mech is available from level 25 and it costs 20,000 of these credits. You can use it 2 times per mission. Its cooldown time is 10 minutes and the call-in time is actually not 0 seconds, it is 12 seconds. So from the moment that you drop the stratagem on the ground, it's going to be 12 seconds before it drops. We're going to get into this later in the video, but for now I just wanted to make sure everyone knows about this and yeah. So first of all, I wanted to talk about its speed. The mech itself is slow if moving side to side. If you're moving at a 45-degree angle by pressing forward and left, forward or right, and the same for backwards, it will move faster than going just from left to right. I haven't tested it, but I believe it is slower than a regular running Helldiver. Obviously, it has no stamina, so it doesn't matter. I mean, you are not going to run away from a charger, or to be honest, any bug in the game, but it is good at holding them back. I don't know why, but it also feels that it's not good for traversing the environments because it feels slow. Maybe it's just me, but it feels slow when you're moving. But maybe that's just because of the point of view of the mech, because it's, you know, bigger than the Helldiver itself and it feels that it's moving slower, but it really isn't. Now, the point that I wanted to make, and some of you might not agree with me, but the mech is made for Terminids, not automatons. And I'm not changing my opinion, doesn't matter who says it, it was made for Terminids. Now, why? Well, for instance, take a look at this. Playing on the level 7 difficulty on automatons, I could barely stay alive with the mech because there's shots coming from every single corner from the map, from every single automaton on the map. They honestly just gun you down and you can't do shit about it because it's gun blazing. You can barely see anything. There's rockets, there's mortars, there's anti-air things that they have, there's hulks, there's tanks. You can't really do much about the automatons when sitting on a mech because Terminids simply do not shoot back. You can destroy them while they're coming at you. I'm not saying you shouldn't play against automatons with the mech. I'm just saying that it's insanely hard. Because, for example, if you look at Terminids, the only thing that can damage you from distance are the Bile Spewers, then Chargers because they're fast and they can ram you down, or Bile Titans. These are the only things that killed me when I was playing against Terminids. So it's super obvious that this thing was made for Terminids. Now let's talk ammunitions. This thing, if I remember correctly, it has 14 rockets and 1,000 machine gun bullets. Now machine gun bullets can deal with pretty much anything, against Terminids, of course, except for something that has medium or higher armor. So I'm talking about Chargers, Bile Titans, etc, etc. Anything else, like Hunters, Brood Commanders, anything else, machine gun deals with that no problem. Now, if you hit 2 of your rockets precisely against a Charger, you can kill it instantly. Usually it takes 3. If you shoot like a couple at its head and 1 at its leg, it takes 3, sometimes maybe 4. Now, Bile Titans, oh boy. When me and my friend had mechs in the battlefield, there were, I think, like 3 or 4 Bile Titans at one place, and we gunned them down, no problem. 2 mechs can pretty much destroy anything coming your way. Of course, you still have to keep your distance because, you know, Bile Titans can spew their thing out of their mouth, and then your mech will start smoking, and then you will not have any choice. You will literally explode, and you will not have a chance to even escape. So just be careful about that. Now, against the automatons, I don't have very good footage because usually my mech would just explode when landing or in the first minute of me using it. There were times when I used it for a few minutes before exploding, and mechs are surprisingly good against tanks and hulks, but they're just not viable, as I said, because every automaton on the whole fucking planet just keeps shooting at you. Now, the mech also has a stomping mechanic, so you just press your melee button and it can stomp. So if there's like a lot of bugs swarming you, you can start stomping them. You won't need to use your bullets or rockets. It's not really a huge mechanic, but it does help out in some scenarios. I saw a video on YouTube where there was a guy who was running a mech and there was a charger running at him. And if you get like a perfect angle, you can stomp them and kill the charger in like 2 stomps. But it's a very inconsistent mechanic to use. Now, when do you use it? I noticed that the mech is usually amazing when you are extracting. Well, before extracting. Because usually when the bugs see the big light beam going into the sky, they will start swarming you. So if there's you and another guy running a mech, you will hold them off no problem at all. Of course, it doesn't really matter when you use it against the Terminids, because if you use it on the extraction, you pretty much guarantee everyone's safety. And if you use it just in the middle of a mission, you will just complete the mission faster. That's about it. So it does not really matter. Of course, just keep in mind that it has a 12-second timer from when it actually drops when called. So you don't want to be calling it in when you're getting swarmed. You want to be pretty much prepared for the bug swarm, okay? So just call it in before you're about to do something. Another thing that I realized, the mech is actually resistant to fire damage. So you know Errata Prime, right? The big fiery planet, the sand fucking Arrakis type planet, yeah? In that planet, there's actually fire tornadoes. So if you step into a fire tornado with a mech, it will not do anything to you. But you know what fire does to bugs? Exterminates them. So you can actually use that to your advantage. There's going to be quite a few tornadoes if they appear at all. There's not one, there's usually like 3, 4, maybe a few more. You can step with your mech inside of one of those tornadoes and actually survive the flames, but the bugs will keep swarming you and they will die inside of that tornado. And I think if there is a person running with a flamethrower, they can actually use the flamethrower right in front of you and again not do any damage because of course it's fire resistant. So you can use these things to your advantage while riding the mech. Now, when to use it against automatons, honestly, I really don't know. You can try using it at the start of the mission just to be safe. I do remember I used it one time at the very end of the mission. Sadly, I don't have the recording of that because I was just, enjoying my time late in the evening. So I wasn't streaming and I wasn't recording. We did use the mech at the very end of a level 7 mission, but you need very good cover for it. So if you find good cover, you can use it against automatons on very high difficulties when there's like a lot of them swarming you. But just for general play against automatons, I don't know, bro. It's not really my thing, to be honest. Now, you also cannot call in stratagems while you are inside of the mech. That's kind of obvious, but just make sure you remember that because let's say you're the last one alive in the team and you need to reinforce someone. You don't want to be going to a fight alone with a mech. Because if there's bile spewers or bile titans or chargers and they ram into you, you're just going to instantly explode. So don't do that. Just leave the mech alone for a little bit, use your stratagems, get your guns, get your shields even maybe for when you actually leave the mech and then go into it. Well, of course, remember to reinforce your teammates, but after you do that, then you can safely go in. Because trust me, you will not know what the hell hit you when you explode in the mech. There's also one very funny thing that you can do. You can actually get a friend to climb somewhere above the ground a little bit, like on a building or something. And if you stand on the lower ground, he can actually jump on top of you and you will have like a perfect scenario for dealing with every single Terminid on every single planet. It's also kind of funny to do that. So definitely try that out. The rockets also, as well as an autocannon and grenades do destroy nests, stalker nests. So you can use the mech for that as well. I also would not recommend wasting your rockets immediately, because if you run out of rockets and you only have your machine gun, if a charger starts charging you, you won't be able to defend yourself. So only use rockets when needed. Don't start wasting them just because they're fun. I know they're fun, they're awesome to use, they feel good, but you might want to save them for really critical situations. The mech did work amazing in the Activate Termicide Tower missions, because usually the bugs swarm from 3 or 4 different locations and you can just keep protecting 1 or 2 of them very, very easily. I believe when this video is released, the mission is still there, so you can try it out there. But all in all, honestly, the mech is amazing. It feels amazing. It is amazing. It's awesome against the Terminids, not Automatons. The devs made an amazing job. Arrowhead definitely knows what their players want. So yeah, in general, love it. So yeah, I hope you've taken away something good from this video. Maybe you'll start using the mech. If you haven't, by the way, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. I hope you come back. You can also follow me on Twitch. I stream there. Well, not lately because I've been focusing on YouTube videos more, but I plan to do streaming way more regularly, at least 2 or 3 times a week. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. I hope to release something of good value for you again next time, and I'll see you next time. All right? Bye!